says the cost of a Thanksgiving feast for everybody is actually trending a little lower. This is from the American Farm Bureau. Cost for a party of 10, they say, on average is $58.08, down from just over $60 the last couple of years. So let's bring in man who's a turkey dinner spending expert, Doug Flynn, for more analysis of this from Flynn Zito Capital Management. So you're an expert on everything. Thank you, by the way, for coming on Thanksgiving Day. I shouldn't be making fun of you. So we have no stock market or anything, and you're still giving us your time. So happy Thanksgiving, and thank you for coming on.
Connell.
We're going to make you an expert on Thanksgiving spending. So you and I talk about inflation at this time of the show a lot. And, you know, every year we do the story and the costs are going up and up and up. They're still high, but is this, you know, things are getting a little better, or what do you read into this, if anything?
Yeah, so this year it's down about 5% from last year, and the interesting thing is last year was down about 5% from the year before that. But if you go back to 2019, we're still up about 20% from about 5 years ago. The big culprit this year was cranberries. Now, yeah, so I mean, for me, I don't eat those, so that's not going to affect me that much. But if you do, that's going to add a lot to your bill this year. Turkey actually went down. So this is what happens here and there, and overall, it's about the same overall percentage increase, but a little bit cheaper this year, which is a good sign.
Probably a little late to be telling people now, almost 4 p.m. Eastern time, to leave out the cranberries. But I'm sure if they have them, they've already bought them. Now, you said, and you came in, or I said a moment ago, there's no stock market trading today, but you came in with a list of not only stocks, but areas of the market that you're most thankful for. So let's go sectors first. This is interesting. Way to spend the day today talking about some of these sectors. Financials have done well, communication services, utilities, the S&P in general, and then industrials, consumer discretionary, and tech. So give us a comment there on a market that, you know, is kind of easy to pick favorites because a lot of things have been doing well.
Yes. So you had 3 sectors that you saw that actually beat out the S&P's return this year. And then there was one right around there and a few that were under. And the big surprise overall, the tech area, while you have these individual companies in there, tech overall was actually less than the S&P 500 overall. So, you know, you're looking at these other sectors because the S&P there are 11 sectors in there, and some perform better in different years. So I always look to which are the ones that have more opportunity, which are the ones that did better this year, and how does that shake out for moving into next year?
That's the question. Your favorite sector for next year would be what, if you had to pick one right now?
So well, even a year ago, I liked utilities because for a couple of reasons. One was it has literally about half the volatility of the market. And this year it outperformed the market. So similarly, that's still the case. So you have some great stocks in there. It's a lower risk way to play it, especially if you're already really, really heavy into tech, as most people are. Right. So in that perspective, if you haven't added anything there, that's a spot you might want to look at. It falls into the value category. Everyone has is growth. So it's more about diversification.
Yeah, right, because we've been talking about growth for so long. You want to have value to go along with it. Let's talk about individual stocks for a moment and not talk about NVIDIA for a change. I feel like every time we talk about individual stocks, we're either talking about NVIDIA or Tesla. But you have KKR, which is up like 90-something%. You have Netflix. You have a bunch of these stocks individually. Take us through some of your favorites on the individual side.
Yeah, so what I did was I took a look at each of those high performing sectors and found the top performing stock in each of them. So in financials, which are going to do well under a Trump administration because of lower regulations, you have a company like KKR, which is well into alternative investments and mergers and acquisitions. So that's where you have there. In communication services, you end up with a company like Netflix. You can also mention Meta. That was the second performing sector, but looking in there, those stocks also outperformed handily. Then you have that third sector in utilities, which the #1 stock so far year to date falls into the utilities category, and that's Vistra. And that's a company that delivers electricity and natural gas to about 20 states.
And it's up like 300% this year, right?
Correct. That's #1 this year.
Wow.
And there are other companies in it, like Constellation, that you want to look at. And just kind of moving down there, the next one is industrials. And that's interesting to me because the top performing stock in there is the #4 stock overall. That's a company called Axon. And that one is the company that owns Taser, which most people are familiar with. Although they might not know Axon, they know Taser. It had a big bump after the election, as you can see there by the chart. And so that's up 145%. But even United Airlines in this category here was the #5 performing stock.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.